Good afternoon. Here we are in north central Kentucky yet again at the workshop of Wood Spun Round. I'm Doug, and it's good to have you with us today. Got some folks who are going to help me out today. My earworms. Let me bring them in, and we'll introduce you. We've got Mark Beckett, the gentleman Turner. Mark Beckett, the gentleman Turner.
No, it's
Got to say it twice.
no, it's still funny whenever you do it.
Wayne Clasper, it was so good to have you, Wayne, and Ruby
Good
Claire,
evening.
Queen of Wood Turning. It's good to have all of you guys with us.
You got to do it with her too, you know.
I, yes, that's right, Ruby Claire, Ruby Claire. We got that RPT, that repeat on the end. So it is good to have all you guys with me today. And these folks will be reading out the chat and asking in questions, possibly even answering those questions. All three of them know as much or more than I do, probably all more. So anyway, let me put these guys in the back, and we'll get on with what
You're
we're
on
doing
mute,
today.
Ruby, by the way.
Yeah,
Uh oh. I've got a piece of black limba on the lathe. I bought 5 of these blanks. I don't know. It's been quite a while back. I've turned 3 of them. You may or may not have seen them. This was the first one I did. A nice little open traditional bowl with a bit of a rim. That was a fun little bowl. And then I turned a calabash bowl, round bottom, closed form, just slightly closed. Anyway, those are 2 bowl shapes that I did. And then this one is a box, kind of a flat top box that we did. I wish I could remember what that little knob is. But anyway, there's 3 shapes that I did. I want to make all 5 of these shapes something different. And so today, what we're going to do is it will be a hollow form, but I've got another piece that I want to turn if we've got time to go on top. This will be more like an inkwell kind of a thing. So it'll be a hollow form, have a small opening, and then we'll put a top onto it that'll have even smaller opening. That's if everything goes right. So we're going to start off by turning this, and one of these fine folks is going to read off who's all in the chat.
I
that'll be
dare say
Mark.
that'll be me. Yeah, I usually
One
get
of one of you
volunteered.
two gentlemen.
Right, so starting at the top of the list, we've got Jennifer's Crafting Creations. Hello, Jennifer. Mwah. Gerard the French Turner. You don't get a kiss. Paul Finley, Door 60, Malcolm Douglas, uh, Fred Gilliver, and then we've got Shane Hurst, and we've got Brian El Tornero de Madeira, Ivy Woodshed, Lucy Bundy Rowe, Potato, um, going down, Callum Petrie, Anthony Green, Spirit Wood, Stone and Bone, hi Heather, Ward Wilson, Roger Kent, Todd of Glen Cove Woodworks, Barry Chitty, and that's the bottom of the list. Hello,
All
good
right.
evening, and welcome.
Hello to
Good
all of
evening,
you.
everybody.
It's so good
Can
to
I
have
just
all of.
say from Callum's just put in there, good evening all. Sorry for my long absence from viewing all your channels. He has been very ill, but he's on the recovery path.
Oh,
Good to hear.
glad
Well,
you're
Good to
better.
hear.
definitely glad to hear.
Just marking out for my recess. Got another chuck here that's got a little bit smaller. It's got a much smaller um, layout line, much smaller set of jaws. That's what I'm trying to say. So we'll get that turned here. There we go. Raise that up just a touch. We are on
Friend of
a.
Wood Dances is in.
Oh, hey, we are on a worm screw at the moment. But we'll be turning it around, put it on a recess. Um, just makes life a whole lot easier. for me. Some people would go with a tenon. I know that. I used to go with a tenon every time. I was a diehard tenon person. Very slight
Well,
dovetail to that.
I tend to go tenon. That's my go-to, but
Right.
I'll use a mortise if it calls for it for the design of the bow.
Yeah, yeah. We'll make one cleaning pass across what will be the foot, and then we'll create the foot.
I guess I'm basically the same. I prefer a tenon, but occasionally we'll use a mortise.
Right, right. I typically do.
I'm the odd one out.
Yeah, you always go with a recess, don't you? It is easy. I mean,
It's because he's lazy. And you agree with me. He can't be bothered to turn it back around again.
Well, that's true. That's true.
yeah. Then there's that whole thing of don't leave a clue as to how you held it, and
That's only for wood turners and competition pieces.
Well, not only that, if for some reason you made a mistake and went too deep, you can always add a foot to the bottom of the piece.
right.
Old Man River Wood Turners just joined.
Hey,
Hey,
Dale.
Dale. Trying to
On
get
the other hand,
just
if you've got a recess in there, you can actually do what I'm going to do tomorrow night and repurpose the bowl.
yeah,
True.
yeah. I was introduced to recesses many years ago. A group of us um, met in Georgia at a fellow's house. We had a whole weekend of turning, and well, I still didn't get that clean. Um, he was the first person I knew of that talked about using a recess because the pieces he sold, he guaranteed the finish forever. So all anybody had to do was send it back to him. He'd refinish it and send it back to them. Well, if you got a recess, you can always do that. Tenon, you're going to remove it. That looks a whole lot better. Just a wee bit of sandpaper. Wee bit. I've been watching Paul Finley too long. Everything he does is a wee something.
He's in the chat.
Hey, Paul. What was? Oh, it's this scraper the other day or yesterday. Somebody said you need to rename your scrapers the wee scraper. And it's a big inch and a half or something.
All
Pretty
right.
good size. Pretty good size scraper. So Paul, I'm picking stuff up from you, buddy. It's you're not talking to yourself.
You're an influencer, Paul.
Well, it's always nice to know somebody's listening to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Mark has been known to actually listen to me occasionally.
I don't
Occasionally.
believe that for a minute.
All right.
That's not what he told me last night when we were on the chat.
Oh,
Sorry, what? What? Don't sell
boy,
Oh,
wait till I come over from my visit, Mark.
Yeah.
That's too big.
I'll have moved house by then.
That's okay. I'll still find you.
Coming back to this recess just to clean it up, I left a couple of lines in it that I wasn't even thinking about when I originally turned it. There we go.
Now,
That's got
Lucy
'em.
said that Andy says hello, but he's off out into the garage to finish Ash Bowl 3 of 4.
All right.
Well, Ben's got a good question. Who did the wee thing first, the Scottish or the Irish?
See, I'd say it was probably somebody who lived in a mountainous area First time they slid down the mountain, they went, whee! Just me. It's just me.
I don't know about you, Mark. I
Yes.
don't know about you.
I know. People
And
worry
then
about me. I don't know
other
why.
times we're sure, right, Doug?
That's right.
People say they worry about me. I don't know why. There's nothing to worry about.
Well, there it is. All right. Get these chucks changed and we can turn this over and get some serious work done. But that start is basic to the whole thing. You don't get that right, you got a problem.
That's true.
Benjamin's in.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah, it was Ben that asked about the Wii thing, the Scots and the Irish.
Oh, was it? I was alright.
Yeah.
I was looking at
That
the
is an
names.
interesting question. Who started it?
I'm going to go with the Scots.
Oh,
Well,
probably
I
Scots.
heard it first from the Scots, from my mother's side of the family, because they're all Scottish.
Yeah.
They claim they invented everything else in the world, so might as well
Well,
be,
most
might as well
everything
be that
else.
too.
All
Before
right,
anybody says anything, I'm half Scottish, so I can say that.
Well, that's something we have in common then, Mark.
Well, it always helps to have your lathe in forward, right?
It
Yeah,
does.
'cause you put it in reverse, took a chuck off.
I know. Well,
The
Brian,
other thing
Brian,
is, if you got it in reverse, you think your tools are blunt. Don't
yeah,
ask me how I know that.
I did that not long ago. I sat there and resharpened 3 times and finally realized,
oh dear.
dum,
Yep,
your lathe
I've
is in
done that.
reverse.
And Chris is in from Billy Woodworks.
Hey,
Hey, Chris.
Chris.
Brian with a Y says it must be Scottish because the Irishmen were originally Scotsmen who could swim. And actually, there's a lot of truth to that.
And Chris is watching from Beaumont in Texas this week.
Oh,
Hope it's
they-
not too hot for you there, Chris.
What are you doing in Texas?
Yeah, I was going to say they've been having some really hot spells. I hope he has AC.
Well, Chris lives in Ohio. So what's he doing in Texas to begin with? Must be a conference.
Well, you might have gone to get some sunshine.
Maybe.
And Todd at Glen Cove is saying it's 102 Fahrenheit in Dallas currently.
Oh my.
How hot is it in Beaumont? Chris is in Beaumont for work,
Okay.
and he's saying it is warm.
I think the last time I was in Texas, it was running just a little over 100, and it was hot. The humidity was high. Wasn't like in Arizona where you may get over 100, but then your humidity will only be about 10 or 15% at the most.
Yeah, they're saying it's going to be really hot, certainly around the Phoenix area for the next 10 days or so.
Oh yeah.
Chris is saying it's only 95 in Beaumont.
Oh, okay.
Only.
They're having a cold snap.
You know, it's interesting. You said this is going to be something like an inkwell. And then I realized that most of the people in the chat aren't old enough to remember what inkwells are.
True.
I mean, we had them on our school desks.
Yeah, we are, Ruby.
Right.
Speak for yourselves.
Well,
Oh,
I was in university, finishing up university before they came out with ballpoint pens.
Really.
In fact, I remember going to school and kid had a pocket knife because that's how you sharpened your pencil. We didn't have
Exactly.
pencil sharpeners.
Exactly. Right. Chris has said it's 95 there. That's Fahrenheit. Then he's put in there. That's 35 degrees centigrade.
Did you use a feather, Ruby?
As a matter of fact, I did, Mark.
I didn't ask it, Ben did. Don't blame me.
Marcel's just come in. Good evening, Marcel.
Hey, Marcel.
Gerard,
Hey,
the
Marcel.
French turner, is saying it's 46 in Sardinia today.
Jesus,
That's hot.
that is hot.
Okay. I think we've got the basic shape here. Get some sanding on it. Turn my speed down. I'm at
Oh,
1600.
Lucy said that the bulls that Andy are doing are farewell presents from Gideon to some of the staff at his preschool.
Right? Yeah, she said something about that in one of the lives the other day, and Andy left to go start turning on one. And before the live was over, he came in with a finished product.
Must have been taking lessons from me.
Maybe. Then again, it was about an hour and 45-minute long live, as I remember.
Well, when Mark and Doug get as old as we are, they can turn that fast.
I may be older than you think, Ruby.
We'll have a discussion about that later.
I won't get involved.
No, we know that you're not.
Yeah, you're still in the fives. I'm not.
I'm still a youngster.
I'm not in the
I
fives
don't
any
think
longer.
Mark's forgiven me yet for beating him in the speed bull turning competition.
Well, no, I'm waiting for the rematch one day.
Well, I remember when Alan Batty
Close.
used to have speed matches against his son Stuart,
Yeah.
and they would do everything from, it had to be a 3-foot long goblet and stuff like that. And I remember the one time in particular because as soon as somebody said go, Alan had his halfway done before Stuart could even start.
Oh my goodness.
It took Stuart that long to realize that Alan had unplugged his lathe.
That's wrong.
Because Stuart races with Mike Mahoney now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whenever they're demoing together, they race against each other.
Yeah,
they throw
they
shavings at each other and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jimmy Clues has been involved in that as well. And some,
Yeah,
in
and
some of the shows.
Ashley Harwood as well.
Yeah.
They all get in on it.
Well, that all started back with Alan. He was
Yeah.
quite a trickster.
All right, that was 240. Let's hit a little 320 on here.
We actually did a goblet speed challenge at the Yandles fair the last time I was on. It was me, Brian Millam. Who else was it? There was somebody else, and Emma Cook. And Emma wiped the floor with the rest of us. She turned her hat round and she knocked, I think, a good 30 or 40 seconds off our best time, and then just walked away like a mic drop.
Well, she is a woman after all, Mark.
Oh yeah. Mind you, it was only a very small goblet.
Now, Brian with a Y is saying that here in Spain it's hotter than the sun. Because if you watch the weather maps, they are showing Europe as pink, and we all know the sun is yellow.
They're actually they're showing Europe as bright red, not pink.
Just using a little alcohol here to kind of clean off the grain after we blew it with some air.
See, now I always thought Lucy was weird, and she's come out and just proved that.
Uh-oh.
Because
Yeah.
she's replied to Paul Finley. I've been really cold the past 2 nights. I've put my electric blanket on.
Oh, mercy.
Good heaven.
It sounds like my wife. However, she said today, I woke up last night, I was soaked, the bed was soaked. And I said, what were you dreaming about? She was dreaming about working 30 years ago. And I still hadn't figured out what she was trying to tell me she was doing. It wasn't like she was working, but my wife is 5 foot tall and she went to highway patrol school in North Carolina. Thought she was going to be a state policeman. Got to show it so it works, right, Wayne?
That's right.
That is right, Lucy. She kind of did win on a technicality.
Turn my speed down to just over 200. Work this into the wood so it can work its magic.
Well, we have a slight problem around this household because I'd like the temperature about 65 and my husband would like it about 85.
Wow.
So when I have it, say it's 75, he's wearing a sweater and long johns and I'm still in shorts and a short sleeve shirt.
Yeah. And we used to have those same arguments here until about 5 years ago when I had a small stroke, and we have totally switched. My wife likes it mid 60s. I like it I don't want it 80, but mid to upper 70s is nice.
Dale says he can remember riding in a car without seatbelts. Yeah, I can remember.
Oh, yeah.
Cars
I can
didn't have
remember
them.
that.
So yeah, I can remember that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember our first car was a 68 Volkswagen Beetle. First car that had seatbelts installed in the factory. And nobody used them. What are these dumb things for?
And Roy's just come in. Good evening, Roy.
Hey, Roy.
Hi, Roy.
Hi, Roy.
It is good to have everybody in this afternoon, this evening, wherever you might be living. We're up to 1240 at the moment. Another clean area of the paper towel. Just working off the oils and waxes.
Well, if you don't mind, Doug, I'll just remind folks that Record Power is starting their lives up again on Thursday. So if you haven't watched them, go to Record Power TV and register, and you'll get the link for it.
They are very, very good.
Absolutely. I saw that, and here in the States, Turner's Warehouse is doing a whole series as well, and they've had some interesting sessions as well.
And it's on a Thursday as well, so I can watch.
Yep.
The only problem is, I think for you, it's going to be late in the day.
Oh, the Record Power? You know, I didn't even look to see what time it was for us.
I think it's up at 7 in the evening for us, isn't it?
That sounds about right.
It's only about an hour ago.
Yes. I think for you, it's at 7:30.
Okay. So 2:30 our time, Ruby?
Correct.
All right. That's got the abrasive
Chisky's
paste
just
into
come
it.
in. Hey, Chisky.
Hey, Chisky.
Hey, Chisky.
Hi, Chisky.
Well. All right. Time for the exciting part. If I can mess it up, I probably will. Let's start off with. No, let's don't. Let's start. There it is. Where's Shug? Start off with a number 1 hollower, Easy Wood tool. Just have to work my way in a little bit at a time to begin with.
Now, does that one have the cupped round?
No, this is
No,
flat.
it's Easy Wood. Easy Woods don't do a cupped cutter.
Right.
Okay.
I'm
Jason
hoping.
Levron's just come in. Hello, Jason.
Hey,
Hi,
Jason.
Listen,
I'm hoping this time next week I've got some news for everybody. I'm pretty excited about it, but don't want to mess anything up because it's a little premature yet.
I guessed you're pregnant.
That's it. That's it.
Congratulations.
Well, that's great. We can all enjoy having some more little Dougs around.
Oh no, I don't think that's gonna. That's not it. All right, I'm
and
afraid I'm gonna
Graham
be.
Hayne has just come in as well.
Do you want to try the overhead?
We can do that. I don't know if it's gonna help, but we can sure try it. If I can figure out where it is. Let's go to that one.
You got it.
That'll be all right. That's better.
Okay.
And Pete's just come in as well. Hi, Pete.
Hey, Pete.
Morning,
Hey,
Pete.
Pete.
All right. I was going to use.
Graham's asking what you're making tonight, Doug.
All right. This is a hollow form. Part of the series that I'm doing out of black limba. Had 5 identical blanks. And so I'm going to make 5 different pieces out of it. All out of the same wood, the same size. Still not far enough. There we go. There.
And Dewey's just come in as well.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, Dewey.
Hey, do.
Ooh. I just realized my handle is loose.
Oh
Oops.
dear.
Give it a
Never
tap.
had that. Yep.
I remember before they came out with swan neck tools like that, we used to have to make our tools out of Allen tooth.
Yeah.
Yep. I've got a few of them of different sizes for doing small
Joey,
stuff.
that's an easy answer, mate. Easy wood.
I don't know the Rutland hollowing tools, so I can't speak to that.
Right, I've got to say on that one, it's got to be the easy tools. The easy wood tools, certainly for hollowing, are absolutely superb. The
Yeah,
guys at Easy Wood, before they actually took over Easy Wood Tools, they both come from an engineering and carbide background, so they know what they're talking about. That's Doug and Chris.
Yes. And in fact, they are the guys who made the original carbide bits for Craig. He had gone to them to see if they could make these bits, and they agreed, and then they end up years later owning the company. I'm just having to turn this one. It's gotten very dull.
Yeah, I've always found the Easy Wood tools worked fairly well for me. You still have to remember grain direction when you use them, though.
Absolutely. So you want to turn this so I have a little bit better angle. There we go.
Now, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but Doug is using the swan neck, and he has moved his tool rest a fair bit away from the workpiece. That's because he's working on the flat bar of the tool. He's not actually working on the swan.
Right.
He doesn't have the swan neck on the tool rest.
I can guarantee you if I put that swan neck on the tool rest, it'll twist.
Oh, Mike's in from Dancers. Hi,
Hey,
Mike.
Mike.
Hey, Mike.
I don't know if he was in earlier, but he's certainly in now.
All right, I think we need to get a little shavings out of there.
Now, what I found with carbides is exactly the same with, if you like, high-speed steel gouges and things like this. If you talk to individual wood turners, they will have a preference for what they want to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Same old thing. You ask 25 wood turners a question, you'll get 34 answers.
At least. Just taking more out of the center. I had a pretty good lump in the center there.
For a lot of people, it depends on when they started turning. Like when Wayne and I started turning, there weren't the variety of tools that are available now.
Oh,
Just
definitely.
sharpened rocks.
Those sharpened rocks worked very well, Mark, I'll have you know.
Oh, you're
I-
definitely getting it. When Ruby gets the stuff in the
I'm
UK,
getting a
you
slap.
are definitely getting it, Mark.
Mark, I'm not so sure you're not trying to
No,
get in trouble
no.
today.
Now, Mike has put in there. So, what were the easy flint tools like then? Oh, cheers, Mike.
Negative rake flints.
Well, they were really good. You just had to learn how to chip them properly to get a sharp
And
edge.
nap them. And easy wood flint napping. Oh, dear. It's okay. She's not coming over till next year, so she'll have forgotten by then.
No, I'll remind her. Don't worry.
I have a long memory, Mark.
Okay.
It's kind of like how you were in trouble with Joe for so long. Now you
Yeah.
started in on Ruby.
Well, I had nobody to threaten me anymore, see?
Joe kind of gave up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna clean that up a little bit and call it good.
Well, Mark needs a little adversity just to keep him on his toes.
Right?
I've got enough adversity. Thanks. Don't need any more. My ex-wife for that.
Does Kim
Well,
not give you too much of a hard time?
Yeah, but I enjoy that.
he told us today about some spindles he has to do, so we're going to see how long it takes him to get all these spindles done.
I'm expecting them done by Friday evening.
You'll have a job. I'm not picking the wood up until Saturday.
Well, that'll only take you 2 or 3 days after Saturday, so they should be done by Tuesday then.
The joiner's got to, he's got to cut it to length and plane it all first.
Mm.
And he's got to do the glue ups for the new posts. Picking it up Saturday. So it should be done by Wednesday next week.
Well, we'll check in with you and see if they are or not.
All right.
Well, now I've got my spindle steady. It's just quicker.
That'll help you for sure.
Did Andrew just come in? Oh, he has. Yeah,
Hello,
Andrew just
Andrew.
come in.
Andrew, as in Precious?
Yep.
And Ward has made a good point. Now would be a great time to smash the like button, folks.
Please,
Definitely.
please do.
I can't smash it more than once.
And the
It's
share
like-
button too.
All right, we'll take this one off, leave it in the chuck for now. I'm not going to put it in reverse, Mark.
No.
Not this time. Oh, safe place to put that. And then my other piece is right there. It is. It's camouflaged amongst all the junk. And so nobody has to ask. No, this is not a SK114.
It doesn't quite look like one either.
No. No, this is an original Nova. You know, I've had a lot of people ask me, why am I still using an original Nova? All the new chucks that are out there. Well,
It works.
It works.
That's a good enough reason for using it.
I own it. You know, don't have any payments on it. I'm pretty pleased with it. It holds the wood. So now I've got this glued onto an old tenon that I kept just for this kind of thing. This is a piece of red mallee burl. We're going to cut it down, hopefully. It's glued on with hot melt glue. So we're going to see
Glad
how
you
this
said
goes.
that. There was a post this weekend. I'm still undecided whether they were being sarcastic or not. They glued I think it was an 8 inch by 11 inch chunk of wood onto with a metal faceplate, and they said they glued it on with CA glue,
Oh,
and
man.
they were going to turn a vase. I was like, please tell me you're joking.
Really? No, I
I
wouldn't.
definitely wouldn't use CA glue.
No. We couldn't understand why they were gluing a faceplate onto ingrain.
Why not? Well,
Why not just screw it in? Exactly.
why not screw it in, or better yet, turn it between centers, get a good tenon on it.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
that's why I had a feeling it was sarcasm.
Yeah.
Andrew's saying he's still at work.
Oh my.
It's
good.
not really a good idea to be putting screws into end grain. They don't tend to hold as well as side grain.
Not nearly as well, do they?
But it's definitely a better option than CA glue.
Yeah.
Just about anything's a better option.
You know, any glue on end grain is going to have a hard time hanging on.
Yep.
Same with screws; they just have a tough time holding on because there's no real structure there for them.
Well, if you think about it, your wood grain is like a straw. And when
Exactly.
you're screwing into end grain, it's like you're putting screws into the hollow end of a straw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
there's
it's
just
just spreading
nothing
them apart as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I like the new spur drives that have come out that have the multiple points. And you can get them for both the headstock and the tailstock. And
Yeah.
you can
Oh,
set.
Doug, Wayne's in the background. He got kicked out.
Ah,
Let him back in, please.
there it is.
I'm back
Oh,
again.
glad to see
There you go,
back.
jumping around.
But it's in the
Now-
background, mate.
Yeah, they'd rather watch you turn than us.
They don't want to look at us. We're not doing anything.
Let's see. While I'm thinking about it, let me This might look a little better for you.
Ben says he has his doubts about CA glue stabilizing cracks. The strength of splitting wood is unreal. I tend to use a 2-part epoxy that I color rather than CA glue for cracks.
Oh, let's see if this tool does a little bit better. That was a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. This is a 5/8 spindle gouge
That's a beast.
with a more of a bowl gouge kind of grind and cut way back. It is a beast, Mark, and that's not really the tool I wanted anyway, but it's cutting well.
What about a skew?
Uh,
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
skew would work. Here's the tool I really was wanting. Oh, that was a 5/8. This is a 1/2 inch spindle.
Yeah.
Same type of grind.
That's my go-to spindle gouge is a 1/2 inch.
Right.
1/2 inch Ashley Isles. 40
Yes.
degree.
This is a who is Wood River, which is the Woodcraft brand. I'm not sure who makes it for them.
It's funny, it looks like an old Record Power one.
It does.
Or Pinnacle
Or a Hamlet.
or Hamlet. So many of them use the same type of handle. Getting into my hot melt glue there, but I coated the entire thing with hot melt glue. It's still not square or still not round. Mike
And
Walt.
it's decided to leave the room.
It didn't go very far. Well, since I'm wood on wood, let's clean that glue off first. Oh, by the way, I did find my Loctite, so now I can fix that that hold down plate, get it tight enough where it'll stay. All right, man, that hot melt glue turns easy.
Yeah.
It actually is a lot stronger than you think.
Oh, typically yes. I'm not real sure. Other than that piece is, I just said, there it is. I mean, it came off, the glue came off of my turning piece clean, totally clean. And my glue gun had heated for half an hour, 45 minutes before I put it on there. So I'm not sure why it came off, but it did.
Well, if the surface is too smooth, that could be part of the problem.
Well, it's not. That's a bandsaw surface.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a little Parfex on here. Put a little accelerator on the, and this probably will not hold. I'm not flat somewhere. I'm not flat. So what we'll probably do is just let that go for now. I'll do something
Right.
different.
Doug, will that piece actually fit into the chuck?
I'll look. I'll see. You may have an idea there.
Or do you have another set of chuck jaws that it might fit into?
It might fit into that other chuck that I was using. There we go. Because it's not going to fit in this one. what everybody wants to sit around and see, isn't it? Chuck's being changed back and forth. Oh,
Yeah.
gotta go that way. There we go. It's probably too big for this set of jaws.
Okay,
It is.
right, Doug. Here's another idea.
Okay.
Put the hollow foam back on
Yeah.
onto that chuck. Okay. Put the coned end of the lead finial, whatever you want to call it, into the hole of the hollow foam. Bring your tailstock up and turn a tenon small enough to fit into that chuck.
Gotcha. Good idea.
That's genius.
When you get as old as we are, Mark, you'll think along those lines.
So many jokes. So many jokes.
Too little time.
Too little time. Not enough lives left.
Don't worry, Mark.
Oh.
I'll message you later on with some more.
All right, let's see here. Tell you what, I'm going to blow there. Took this live center out of here a while ago, and it was the quill was full of shavings. I couldn't believe how many shavings were in there. No idea where they all came from.
You do have to do kind of maintenance on tailstocks as well as
Yeah.
chucks.
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to take a brush like a shotgun brush and clean out both Morse tapers on the headstock and tailstock.
Right.
I do my tailstock and headstock every 2 weeks.
We
Planned
were
maintenance.
on Wednesday night group. We were talking about that very thing, about cleaning and general maintenance that we have to do from time to time. And I had said something about y'all remember the green weenie that was out for cleaning the Morse tapers? It was kind of a nylon or plastic.
Yes,
With a
I had one.
big spiral.
sent to me.
The company that made those quit. They were sold primarily by Packard Woodworks. And the company that was supplying them quit with no explanation.
Doug,
And,
can you go into overhead?
So anyway, I was talking with the folks there at Packard, and lo and behold, the guy says, if you can find somebody to 3D print those, we'd buy everything they could make. And I cannot find anybody willing to make them. There we go.
Oh, look at that.
That's a thing of beauty.
Let's see. I'm going to go ahead, since we got in this orientation.
Make
what
a
did I
tenon.
do? Yeah, if I can figure out, there it is. I was trying to figure out where I put my calipers. Let's go a little tighter.
Not too much. You don't want to split the hollow.
A little more speed may help. Oh, yeah. Just taking a light cut for that very reason.
Yeah, the square carbide wood from Easy Wood Tools would work very well on this as well.
Let's
Yes,
try
it
that.
would.
Let's try that. I just happen to have one handy.
Rather than going from the side, Doug, seeing as how it keeps on slipping, try going in from the end towards the headstock.
Right.
Lucy, it's all right. The chat's really quiet. We're all fascinated. We may have actually reached a point where we've all insulted each other as much as we possibly can. That's never going to happen.
Oh,
Oh, hang
no.
on.
No,
Mark, I haven't
no.
even started yet.
Yeah, neither have I.
Oh, God. Upset the Canadian.
Okay, still a good bit to go here.
Be careful, Mark. I have a moose sitting here beside me that I can sick on you.
I'm not scared of moose. I've seen them. Been up close
And
to a
she's got
moose.
remember she's got some invaders in there as well.
That's
It's
true.
it's the cobra turkeys I'm scared of.
The Cobra turkeys.
Canada geese.
Looks like. You know what I think I might do?
Oh
Instead of
God! Have you seen
when
what
they open-
Jason's written, Mark?
Yeah, I know. All right, shush.
That's a good one, Jason.
It is. Doug, if you haven't seen it, Jason wrote, "Okay, Fluffy, we can start talking about pink items if you want."
Fluffy pink items.
I still have my workshop key on a pink fluffy thing that JP sent me.
Oh, I think JP stays up at night thinking of that stuff.
He does. I worry about
Oh,
that
he
boy.
definitely does.
All right. We'll use the little CI4, the mini detailer, to kind of work on this a little more. Or what I can do, now that we've done that,
Gerard's having to go. He's working tomorrow.
all right,
See you,
Gerard,
Gerard.
Bonsoir, Gerard.
can't get out of that restaurant.
Yes, Lucy, you did send me a pink fluffy handbag.
Excuse me.
Lucy's getting in on it too, eh?
Well, Mark, you could always go change into your tutu.
See,
Good,
that's
it's
where you
upstairs.
messed up, Mark.
Yeah, there he was. Yes, you're right. Sorry. Cobra chickens. Sorry. Not cobra turkeys.
Cobra chicken.
I had to show Kim that video again this weekend because we had the pleasure of having dinner with Chris and Emma and Susie, the Dragon Tail Turnings. And Emma was one of my bevy of beautiful lady earworms, as was Ruby.
Yeah, I was in the chat that night. That was
Now
kind of
I'm-
that was
now
kind of
I'm-
a scary thing.
It was a very surreal evening.
I
Well,
haven't
I'm
seen Chris
sorry
and Emma
about
since Makers last year. Makers Central last year. Last time I saw Chris and Emma.
They are in very, very good health. We had an absolute
Good.
blast this weekend. Next time you see Emma, you've got to ask her about her new job. That's
Uh-oh.
all I'm allowed to say.
Okay. Just another one. I've got. Oh, that came out.
No, that's my fault. I
Was
was
it-
pushing
Wait,
way too hard.
Wait, you will howl laughing.
Now, is this a good story about a new job or a bad one?
It's hilarious. It's just
All
hilarious.
right. Okay.
I can't tell you why, but it's just I couldn't breathe after she told me.
You do realize I'm going to have to message Chris now and ask about that.
Yeah,
All right, that's looking better. Yeah, I was just simply pushing way too hard for the size of that tenon. It's pretty small.
Now, what we've suggested for Doug tonight, and this is to get around problems. If you just have a think about stuff and how you can adapt, if you have some sort of mistake, like Doug did with the hot melt glue, if you have some sort of mistake, it isn't all lost. You just think about things and you adapt to what you want to gain.
Absolutely.
There aren't problems, there are just solutions.
That's true. That's part of what makes turning fascinating is the fact that you have to be thinking all the time.
And there's so many ways to do most everything that we do. We can get in a rut, have a piece come off, and well, that's done. Well, no, not necessarily.
Now, did you take a measurement of that opening to know what size you're going down to?
Yes, that's the size of the tenon.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I knew that these jaws fit into the jaws, or the jaws fit into the recess. Um, did I measure right? I bet I didn't. Or did I? Did I
No,
change
you
it?
measured the hole, didn't you?
I've measured too many things, Mark. I don't know what I measured now. I think I did. Yes, I measured the hole.
Yeah.
I measured the hole. So my tenon is the size for the hole, and so I'm just turning the shape of the piece that I want to go on top.
Jason says glue and coffee cover a multitude of sins.
They do.
That's true for not just wood turning either. That's a good motto for life.
Hmm.
Duct tape and dustbin bags as well.
For things that move, you use duct tape. For things that don't move, you use a hammer.
You'll have to watch the Red Green Show sometime.
If they don't find you attractive, they ought to at least find you handy.
That's right.
I've seen it
Or,
more than once.
or
The old
you know the man's prayer.
I don't remember it. It's been a little while since I watched, but
I am a man. I can change if I have to, I guess.
yes. Yeah, I guess that was the part that always cracked me up.
And Marcel has said, and I've got to agree with Marcel, beer and wine for everything else.
Yes.
Hmm.
Can I add cider into there too?
Oh yes, you can add cider into there too.
Cider is my summer drink, so you only drink Doom Bar in the winter.
I don't think I've ever had cider.
Shut up.
My life.
Well, you're
Yeah.
having some next time you come over.
I tried some root beer when I was over there, and it was absolutely terrible. Whereas over here
Oh, see,
we
I
have
love root.
A&W root beer, and it's absolutely
Oh.
great.
A&W
See,
root
the-
beer. Oh,
No, the thing that you need to get, if you're in the UK and if you can find it, the stuff to get across here is called dandelion and burdock. And I think that is the proper equivalent to what you call root beer over there.
Dandelion and burdock.
Dandelion and burdock.
Mm. Well, I'll try it, but one thing I did have over there that I liked was ginger beer.
Oh yes,
yeah. You can actually get alcoholic ginger beer. Grabbies.
you can.
Now, are you
Crabbies,
drilling a hole in there?
crabbies do a ginger wine as well.
Do they?
What was your question, Ruby?
Are you texturing or drilling a hole?
I'm drilling. Got the lathe speed down, just using a small Fosner bit in my drill chuck. It's just a small hole, so.
And what is going in this hole?
Air. This will be the opening into the hollow form.
Ah, now I
Um,
understand.
I wish I could remember the fella's name. He lived in Arizona. Golly, he died 15 years ago or more ago, maybe closer to 20. Anyway, people were talking about how great his hollow forms were, and he says, "Oh, if you only knew how rough they were on the inside." And somebody made the comment one day. They said, "How would anybody ever know your openings are so small?" He said, "That's exactly why they're small."
Yeah.
But he did this type of thing. He had wonderful, wonderful hollow forms, and golly, this wood is hard. But anyway,
If
he
you
would put a lip on everything and make it smaller.
if you put in a hollow form to the RPT for assessment or for the Turner's company, they put a camera inside it.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yes.
and that's okay.
I guess
right,
it's a
get
good thing I didn't
There is
submit a hollow form.
there is no escape.
Well, I used to teach a class on making hollow forms where you made them in two parts, and then that way you could sand the inside quite easily before
Right.
you join them.
I thought about that for these
Todd's,
last two pieces.
Todd's asking, why didn't you use the drill held in the tailstock?
I could have. This was just as quick. It was, my hole is only an inch long, and so I could do it just about as quick, just holding it. It's a little bit of a sand up with, there's 150. Go to
Pete says
240.
doesn't make
Pete,
the yeah, go on.
go on, Mark.
No, go on. You do it.
Yeah, Pete said not if you make the opening smaller than the camera. Now, the two things here, one, you get very small cameras these days, and
Yes.
two, I wonder if they would have done that with the likes of Melvin Firminger, because he did some hollow forms with very small openings, very
Right.
deep hollow forms with small openings.
I couldn't
Pete's
answer
got a full
that.
assessment.
He's I think he's still on the go. He's down in the West Country somewhere, Mark. Melvin
Oh,
is.
is he?
Yeah.
There seems to be a little bit of a resurgence of that technique of hollowing from the bottom. Have a long,
Yes, I've
skinny
seen a
neck.
few videos on that, and in fact,
Yeah.
somebody, I can't remember who it is. I'm sure he was American, but he spent a hell of a long time actually making the cone to fit into the bottom of the hollow form, so you could hardly tell
Right.
that it was two pieces.
Hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of my abrasive
See,
paste.
the other way to do hollow forms, if you want to do it in two pieces, I did do a live on this one time, was that you do it in a really open top vase type shape, but then you put a lid on with a very small hole in the top of it. So it actually, to all respects, it looks like a hollow form, but it's been done in two pieces.
Right. Then burn lines or texture or something, whatever it takes to hide that line.
Yep.
Ben says they should assess your hollow form by performing a cross-section analysis using one of those magnetic Splexor things. I think that's getting things carried away a little bit.
Yeah.
I've only got one thing to say to Ben at this particular point: walnut.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to bring. I for our club demonstration last week or a week before last, I did it on my big bowl lathe, and I turned a big 13.5-inch walnut bowl. Came out quite nice. I meant to have that down here for you, but I didn't.
Oh, was that done on the other lathe, Doug?
Yes, the big
Yeah.
bowl lathe. Yes.
It would be nice to see how it came out.
Yeah. Well, I did show it. I showed it last Wednesday with Ruby. It came out quite nice.
Unfortunately, I had a pile of company drop in just
Yeah.
about the time.
Absolutely. Now, normally wax goes on next, but we're going to do a bit of assembly here. We've been right at an hour.
Oh, you're fine.
back.
Still got loads of people in.
Do a little assembly. Boy, it feels good. It's nice and warm. As you can see,
That's pretty.
it's got some real nice grain. I love these Australian burls. They're just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But as you can see, there's that. I can get my little finger in there. I can swish around. Once I put this on, when you know it's just a hair big, haha, but I got a way to fix that. I've got a way to fix that. Do it real quick. It won't take just a moment.
Sanded.
Yeah, just sand the hole a little bit. Make it just a little bit bigger. Right,
Pete says he does apologize. He forgot to do the thumbs up, but he's fixed it now.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got 40 odd people in there watching. I think I saw around about 25 thumbs up.
Okay.
Oh, people.
I appreciate everybody being in. That's terrific. Switch your camera over here. There we go. See how we are. That might be just a wee bit more, tiny bit more.
Ben's right. It's an Australian burl. It's either got teeth or it's poisonous. Either way, it'll want to kill you. It's true.
Fortunately, it's a burl, a piece of tree, a wood. This is actually it's a scrap piece from a bowl that I turned for a giveaway. 750 subscriber giveaway. So there we go. Tommy bars.
Now we have a company across here because Ruby's just put in. If you come to Canada, try the A&W root beer. We've got a company across here from Newcastle called Fentimans, and they do a very nice root beer.
A&W here is getting difficult to find.
A&W is, it's just gorgeous.
It was good root beer, yes.
A&W. Crunchy peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
All right.
Grape jelly.
Now what we'll do here is to, a little later, I will put this back on this chuck. I've still got my recess there in the bottom. I can put it back on that chuck and we'll put the wax on it and everything. But there you have it. Number 4 in the series.
That's pretty.
It is really nice, that, Doug.
I like
Very
that
nice.
shape. That's a very organic shape. I like that.
Just
No flats, continuous curves.
Very basic, kind of a hollow form shape.
Yeah.
And then there's some light on it.
The only
Even
thing
without any
you need
wax.
is you need a dried flower to put in the top.
Well, I got that, just not handy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hold on. Yes, I do. They're not too bad. Just around the other side of the lathe.
Lucy said, Andy has done a win. He's splodged and spun with Joe Sonias tonight.
Good heavens.
No, I thought I was a bit more
Yes.
artistic than that.
All right, now
That's
Doug, that
nice.
finishes it. That
That's
makes it
nice.
perfect.
Yep, like that.
We'll get some wax on it and get a little
is
shine
nice.
going.
Doug, that's one of the nicest things I've seen you turn. I've got to say that.
Well, thank you. Like I said, that's number 3. I've had an idea for number 5 of the series. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with that or do something else. I got to remember what it was first.
That's pretty.
That's if anybody's interested, that's ornamental grass, the seed head. We cut off a whole bunch of it. We got a big clump in our flower area outside, and anyway, as part of the trimming process, the seed heads go. Well, wife brought them in and hung them up here in the shop. So anytime I need them, that's what I do. I grab some and use them.
It's pretty.
Well, you're
I
getting
really
a
like
number of nice compliments on it, Doug.
Yeah. Thank you, one and all. I do appreciate it. Appreciate you
Mike
coming in
is-
and being a part. And Go ahead,
Mike
Wayne.
from Dances is asking how thick is the bottom part, Doug?
Can't tell you now. He's glued the top in.
yeah, I have no idea. I can't measure it. That's a tiny hole in there, and I don't have anything small enough to go measure it. It's not super thin, but it's not, it's not solid either. It is hollow. It might have 3/8 inch walls. They're fairly heavy, but it's not terrible. But the whole point
Ben's-
is the shape and the neck. That's
Yes,
kind of the point.
exactly.
Yeah.
Ben has said, "Nice, Doug. It matches your haircut."
My haircut.
Ben, really?
I
My
know.
haircut.
Yeah,
I've got hair.
You've got to expect these things from Ben.
Oh, there it is. I don't know if anybody's seen my hair in forever. It's my hair usually either has a cap on it or a face shield.
Now,
Yeah, I had all my hair cut off this weekend.
Fred Gilliver has said, a nice feather quill would look good.
Sure, it would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one from a peacock.
Oh yeah,
I typically have a face shield on when I'm turning. Otherwise, the YouTube safety police come after me.
Well, you could take it off right now.
Well, I do that.
Then it looks like his holophone.
There we go. That goes on.
No, you don't need a hat on at all. Your hair looks fine
I'm
the
not-
way it was.
I'm not like my dad. I do still have my hair. He has to comment on it every time I see him. He's been bald since he was way younger than me.
I've still got all my hair. It's in a dustbin bag upstairs.
Any questions that we may need to answer yet?
and nothing at the moment.
Nope.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for coming in. I do appreciate it. It means a lot that people are in and that you're commenting. Do hit the thumbs up button on your way out if you haven't. And if you're not subscribed, I would appreciate your subscribing. We're still about 75 away from hitting 1,000. But it's working. It's coming on slowly, but it is surely. Sorry we weren't on last week. I was
sorry,
just covered
sorry,
up.
I'm
Circumstances last week.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
fill-in had stuff as well, so it just happens sometimes.
I just
So,
couldn't.
Mark, I
couldn't spare
appreciate
time.
you offering. Yeah, I understand, not a problem. But we're back. Everything's good, and I'm excited to be back on. Unless something else happens, something else comes up, I was offered and given a whole stack of wood from a fella. He watches. He never comments on YouTube, but he does watch, and he just lives down the road. He said, "How about I've quit turning. I've already sold my lathe. Come get this wood." I said, "I'll be there Sunday." So Sunday afternoon, I went by and picked up, and there's a couple of very pretty pieces of wood. So I may very well do one of those next week. And I won't be able to tell you what the wood is. He didn't have any of it marked. One piece is oak. I know that. Other than that, I have no idea. Some pretty stuff though. We'll figure it out.
Free wood is always good.
Free wood is always good. Exactly. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Dale, Fred.
That's a good point. Now, Pete's made a good point here. He said, Doug, get your next week's link up by Sunday, and I will try to drive some of Terry's viewers over to subscribe.
We'll do
Good.
it. We'll do it. I may have it up. May have it up tonight. We'll see.
Yeah,
Tonight or tomorrow.
if you stick it up tonight, I'll certainly stick a link in on my
I'll
live
put it
tomorrow
in his
and
chat tomorrow night.
Saturday.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Appreciate it. All right, folks. Good to see you. Go have a great afternoon. Go turn something around. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night,
Bye, Noah.
everybody.